So for our listeners, right, Dan's using this word attunement. And some people understand what that is and other people don't. So what are we talking about? What does that word mean, attunement? Like, can we define that for listeners so that they can really understand what that is and why it's important?
It's probably the way I'm using it. It's probably more broad than the like how we typically define it. I think the way I'm using it would be think of like think of the love languages. I don't know if this is most people's experience, but most couples I talk to do not sync up with their love languages particularly. So the way one person experiences feels loved isn't the way the other person necessarily feels loved. So, if one person experiences it through physical touch or through gifts or something, oftentimes the other person doesn't. When I'm saying attunement is, do I know my partner enough to say, not just express love to them the way I feel loved, but learning how they feel loved and really try to express love to them in that way. So I'm attuning to them as a specific person. I guess that's how I'm using it. A little different, but that's, I guess, more broadly, but that's how I'm thinking of it. Do I know and keep learning more and more about my partner to see what ways can I love them better?
Well, and
Yeah.
what I see a lot is assumptions.
Mm.
Because I like chocolate chip cookies, I'm going to make a batch of chocolate chip cookies, and then my partner's going to be really happy because I've made these chocolate chip cookies. And then, he might not say anything. He might say, oh, you made chocolate chip cookies. And then I'm like, wait, I'm confused. And maybe start getting a little resentful because there's an assumption there. And so what I find is that couples really don't talk about what they do like and what they don't like and what calms them or how they do feel heard and seen or how do they do feel connected. And then it kind of goes sideways to different things like, so it might be like, I don't say, wow, you didn't like the chocolate chip cookies. I'm really disappointed in that. I just say, so why didn't you clean up the garage?
But there
Right.
is something about having those conversations. There's a book out there. I don't remember the name of it. A client of mine was going through it. He loves it, but it's basically, your first 30 dates. And it's if you're dating somebody and you think that's got potential, you know, there's a section for each date. Here's the topic we're talking about, and it starts very light, it walks more deeply, but it's the entire piece of that is to have those conversations. Hey, what do you like? What do you dislike? Where do we match? Where do we not match? What do we value in as we are moving forward? What do we not value? Does this fit? And it's sort of the process of are we compatible and is this relationship something that's going to be something that worth a commitment, or is this something that's more just like, oh, this was fun, but it's not really a lifetime commitment kind of piece. And I'm going to pull you back in, Wendy, because I remember you talking about a form or a packet that you walk your clients through about like, what do you like more on sexual physical intimacy, actually, but
hmm Yeah. So what I was finding is that people were attending SA meetings and the partners were going to different groups or to different meetings. And they might be really doing well with the emotional pieces and feeling more open and feeling more loving. But then when it came to actually being physically intimate, so foreplay or leading up to sex, there's all this challenge. And what I find too is that a lot of therapists feel that if their couple is having sex, then well, they're successful. They're having sex. That's great. Okay, yay, we've reached a benchmark. And that always kind of confused me because I'm like, well, just because you're having sex doesn't mean that you're connected, and it doesn't mean that you're fulfilled, and it doesn't mean that everything's okay. And what I find is like a lot of, I'm going to say men, if they're having sex with their partner, it's sort of like, oh, we're good. And some of the emotional pieces then start to fall away. Like I don't have to be as attuned, I'm going to use that word. I don't have to be as attentive because we're having sex and so we're good. And so I created this questionnaire basically that goes through well, I don't know if I got everyone, but a lot of aspects regarding physicality, starting with holding hands and then leading up to the physical stages to actual oral sex and intercourse. Because that's the thing too, like, well, do people talk about if they like oral sex or not? And I hear a lot about, the guys will say, well, I don't think she likes it very much, but I don't know. Well, did you ask her? Oh, no, I don't want to go there. So, yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Tim.
Oh yeah.